A very big hello from South Asian Moms of Austin. Today we have got movie stars with us. Here is Rithik and here is Shradvi. They are going to tell us a little bit about their movie, Food for Thoughts. So, Shradvi and Rithik, my first question to you guys is, tell us about yourself. What school do you go to? Any hobbies, any interests that you have apart from acting? You can go first.
I'm Shruti. I go to Meridian World School, and I obviously love acting, and I also love dancing and singing, and basically, I just love fine arts in general.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, I'm Rithik Goyal. I'm 16. I go to Westwood High School, and I'm a sophomore there. And my main interests are doing debate in high school, and I think that part of the reason why I probably love that is because it's again like an extension of the different things that I learned as an actor. For example, speaking and being part of a team with other people, and then I also like composing music and practicing piano.
Great. We would also like to know that how did you get the role in this movie? Did you audition for it? How did you get the role?
I guess Prakash uncle was like, "Oh, can Shruti just be like is she interested in acting in this movie that I want to direct?" And I was like excited. I was like, "Yeah, for sure." And he was like, "Yeah, then can you play this role?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." I mean, it was basically that, and then yeah.
Yeah, and similarly, there's a school that I go to that I think Prakash is also a part of, and I think he knew me through some other people, and he asked if I was willing to do it, and of course I was, because looking at the script it seemed really, really interesting, and the part that I was going to play seemed really interesting, and so I signed up as fast as possible so I can get it.
And this is not your first movie, is it?
No, it's not actually.
Shradvi, this is your first movie.
This is my first movie, and I guess he knew that. I mean, I don't know how, but I guess he was pretty sure that I would like to do this because I don't know how. I mean,
You
I
like
knew
fine
him.
arts.
Yes, I do, and I did know him before, and yeah, basically.
That's
I'm
great.
glad I got a chance to act in this movie.
And how was your experience about working in this movie?
It was really nice. I've never really had such an experience. At times it would get kind of frustrating because each scene would require so many takes. And then I realized it's only after seeing the movie that you kind of understand why it required so many takes. You want it to be so just has to be perfect. And I think but mostly I enjoyed it, and I love acting, and I mean it was totally worth it.
Yeah, similarly, I think that having the ability or having the opportunity to play the part of somebody else who you as a person don't identify with. For example, I didn't play the part that I as a person am. That allowed me to think about the world in a different perspective, and I got to act in somebody else's shoes and see how that felt. And like Shruti said, yeah, doing all of those different takes does become frustrating, but as you also on the set, you end up having to think like the photographer, think like the director, and you understand why all those takes are necessary. And once you, of course, see the final product, you completely forget about all the work that was required, and that's obviously the best part.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of challenging, acting as somebody I'm completely not. But I think I really enjoyed it because, it's not all the time that you get to really act like somebody who you pretty much don't know, and I feel like I just got to know the character through acting.
Yeah, for sure.
So you both said you didn't identify with the characters
At first, but then
yeah.
So I would love to know what characters were they. So just tell us more about your part.
Okay, so I was Mercy Matthews, and she's kind of this overconfident girl who's she's top in the class, she's really smart, and she kind of thinks she's the best, she's the boss, kind of looks down upon everybody else, basically. And I was that's why it was really interesting to play her role because, I'm not used to being, that kid who she was totally
She could do anything.
Yeah, she was I'm the ruler of the world kind of person. And yeah, she was kind of mean to some of the other kids, and she's I'm so smart, I was that, but it was a really interesting experience to play her.
And I'm sure it's fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Lots
Yeah,
of fun.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Rithik, what about you?
And for me, my character is actually like the opposite side of Shrugvi's. I was a really poor boy named Krishna, who I think worked around the school as like a janitor or custodian or something. And the thing about this boy was that he has like a brilliant mind. He's a genius, prodigy somehow, and he needed basically a place to expend that intellectual energy of his. And I think that that's what helped drive the film towards becoming food for thought. Krishna basically provided the thought.
Yeah. And where I would be interested to know, and I'm sure that everyone is interested to know, where did you shoot this film? Where is it based? Is it based in Austin, and where did you shoot? Which locations?
Like literally like the place that we actually shot the film, it was at Chinmaya Mission Austin's old like location.
Location.
I mean, they've moved now, but it was at their older location.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure if the building like has a name like for itself, but that's how I identified it.
Yeah, and I think that in terms of the setting of the film itself, I think one of the parts that Prakash was thinking about when he he wrote the story of the film was that it's supposed to be more of like a universal setting, so it could be applicable to wherever, like in any school setting, in possibly any place of the world, and that way he could create that relationship between two characters anywhere in the world. And I don't think that he really like mentions a specific setting of the movie.
Okay.
But it was, and I just want to add, it was really interesting to see like one of the rooms just transformed into a classroom, and it was like, you know, they moved some things here, some things there, and it just kind of really changed. And even then, it was, you know, kind of similar to how it was before. And then you see like how they took the movie and they took it in such a way that like it literally looks like an actual classroom. Like they actually went to a school, like with, you know, I don't know. It was just really interesting the way that they like transformed the whole place into.
A lot of hard work goes.
Yeah,
in.
definitely.
Yeah.
And some parts like it just looked like you filmed this in somebody's house. And yeah, it definitely a lot of hard work went inside. And I don't know, I thought it was just really interesting to see this whole place like transformed, and especially when you see the movie, you're like, whoa, like where did they shoot that? Was it really like where I thought they did?
Yeah, and the other thing that I thought was really cool was like, for example, the classroom setting. As like a human being, obviously we think of, when we look at something, we're talking about all 360 degrees. In film, it's only about what's on the camera, right? So that means that you can only, the director only cares about what will be on the camera. So for example, in that classroom setting, we didn't need to set up the entire classroom. We just needed to set up maybe 2 or 3 desks and the teacher. Yeah, exactly what needed to be in the classroom. And that I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to our audience over there? You know,
I
they
think
should come and see the movie.
yeah,
Definitely.
Message.
Yeah, definitely. It gives like a really good message. I think I really appreciated that, and yeah, it was a movie really well taken, you know.
And I think one of the things that I thought was really cool about the movie, at least for me, was one thing that I found was probably the most difficult part of the movie was that I had to dress up and portray a character who was not of the same like status as I was. For example, the clothes that I was wearing were much more like raggedy and torn up, and then I wasn't allowed to wear shoes, but I still had to walk through the dirt and all of that, and all of those different experiences. Even though they probably didn't feel the best at that moment, they were pretty great because that made me be in character, and hopefully I think you all will be able to see that.
Yeah, and through the movie, I really learned how much hard work went inside because of all those takes, and also it was just even like tiny, like minute details, like just the things that I wore. Like it had to be, like, so I wore like something that was like, you know, a uniform because, yeah, and also I had to change some of the things. Like for example, I call like my teacher Mrs. or Mr. something, but there I would say sir, or you know, it was just kind of different. And I was like, wow, these are such tiny things. And then whenever you look at the movie, you realize that it really all adds up to the entire like atmosphere and like the setting and everything of the movie. And I don't know. I think it just turned out really good.
Sure. Well, as you can see, a lot of hard work has gone into making this movie. It looks really interesting. So I would ask all of you to please come watch the movie and support our own Austin kids. Thank you.
This is Meena Narula, and
This is Parul Mehta.
we can't wait and look forward to seeing the movie. It's on April 30th at Southwest Theaters, Lake Creek 7 Theater from 11 to 1. Tickets can be purchased online. Come out and support our kids, Austin-based film, and your local Austin talent. Bring the kids and go watch Food for Thought.
Come to watch.
Come watch Food for Thought. I think you'll really enjoy it. Bye.
Definitely.